Right now, we often talk about adding color to your wardrobe from points of views like what colors are timeless for which season, like burgundy and brown for autumn, for example, or in the sense of what colors suit you in the more traditional color analysis sense, where you drape colors under your chin to see which colors enhance your look and make you glow. This is something I'm trained in doing too, and I have been working with color analysis for the past 3 years. It's something that's helped shape my own style over the years in a really positive way. So while I love both of these approaches, I think we're missing out on something way deeper than that, almost like we're only scratching the surface of wearing color. And that's where applied color psychology comes into the picture. Color psychology is understanding the language of color and the impact it has on how we think, feel, and behave. And there's actually research into color theory that suggests that different wavelengths of light, which ultimately equals how we all see different colors, trigger different feelings within us. So color is not just a visual stimulus, it's deeper than that. I've worked with color psychology through having clients for color analysis too, because we always kind of touch briefly on the subject. But I recently read a book by someone named Karen Haller, and she's a leading authority in applied color psychology, and she's got over 20 years of experience working in this field. So the book in question is called The Little Book of Color, and it was a really interesting read. I can highly recommend anyone who is either into fashion, style, or anything creative really to read this book, because as it puts it so nicely, it's not about dressing in a rainbow of color. We are all colorful, even the most subtle of us, even all of you neutral girlies like me out there. So in this video, I wanted to just scratch the surface on the topic a little bit, because there are so many different ways to approach and work with color. And I think the one thing that should always overrule your decisions is how the colors make you feel. So let's say you are not at all into traditional color analysis, or maybe you've even had your colors done and you didn't like the result, or maybe you've had one and you loved it and now you just like to explore even further. No matter what your starting point is, I think color psychology is for everyone. Something I find interesting for Karen Haller's Little Book of Color is the exploration of color seasons and figuring out which season you belong to. Now, this is not at all like with traditional color analysis, where your season is ultimately the colors that match your face and natural features, so your skin, hair, and eye color. It's more about which season and which colors within each of those you feel most drawn to, personality-wise. So there are a couple of tests in the book that you'd need to go through to figure this out. But for me, I was a summer, like very clearly a summer, which is quite interesting because that's also my season in traditional color analysis. Or if we were to translate that to tonal analysis, which is the approach I work with, I am a soft, cool, light color type, similar to the colors that we see within the summer type in the book. So this is actually, from my experience, something that we often see, that people can be drawn to their palette and most quote unquote flattering colors without even knowing. But there are exceptions to that rule, of course, and I think that's especially where this approach becomes helpful. So I'm a summer personality, if you will. So think about a hazy summer afternoon of soft and cool colors, like a summer evening or morning sky where everything is calm, understated, blended together, and serene. And that's really where I feel like I belong. And then my secondary season was autumn, which is also quite interesting because I love using warm colors to decorate with, but the main thing for me is always the softness. So I do sometimes feel like the traditional autumn colors, like the really rich orange, warm greens, mustard yellows, can be a little bit too heavy for my liking. But I see where the test was going, and I definitely find it interesting to get some reasoning behind why I feel drawn to these colors. So this cozy aesthetic is really important to me. In the English language, we have 11 main colors. So we have white, black, red, green, blue, yellow, orange, pink, purple, brown, and gray. The way the color impacts us depends on its chromatic intensity. Higher saturation will be more stimulating because the color will appear brighter, whereas lower saturation is likely to be more soothing to the eye because there's more gray added to the color. So colors will also have different meanings in different cultures. Red, for example, will symbolize something different for each culture. So I think that's also important to keep in mind in this discussion, of course. Now again, the book goes into depths of what emotions each of these colors trigger, and what I really like about this is that you can then choose colors more mindfully, not only for your wardrobe, but also for your home, based on what behavior or emotion that you wish to spark, and not just based on what's trending, for example. And that right there is truly a solid foundation for building a mindful wardrobe, if you ask me. A mindful wardrobe of clothing you actually want to wear and hold on to. I'm not going to dive deep into every single of the 11 main colors. I'd rather advise you to read the book, but I'll give you a few examples by digging deep into some of my own favorite colors and also some of my least favorite colors. And hopefully it will get you to start thinking a little bit deeper about your own color choices and how you can kind of align those with your style personality. So Karen Hollis says that this is a journey to self-discovery, and it can take time to develop this understanding of your best colors. Either way, it's really important to always trust your instincts. So if you ask yourself, what is my favorite color? Trust your gut, because the first color or colors that comes to mind is probably the right ones. And you'll always know if a color is harmonious with your personality or not. If a color is harmonious, you will feel comfortable, you'll feel at ease, whereas a color that is disharmonious will make you feel uneasy and sort of on edge. So the first favorite color that comes to mind for me is green. And I don't necessarily mean a deep, warm green. I like that too, but I mean a softer version of that, like sage green, for example. I love that color so much. I both have it in my wardrobe and I also love decorating with it. It just makes me feel so calm and at ease, and it has some really soothing qualities to it as well. So I also feel amazing when I wear it. Green falls within the middle of the spectrum, and so the eye requires a little to no adjustment to actually be able to see it. And that's why it's a very calm color for us to look at. It feels very balanced and harmonious. Next up is, of course, blue. If you know my style, you know that I love blue. Blue is apparently a favorite color of the world, which I found quite interesting in itself. Again, the version of blue is quite important to me here, so I do love navy, like I'm wearing a navy sweater today, as a gentler alternative to black, but my absolute favorite is definitely a light and soothing sky blue. So it's definitely the soothing quality of that I'm drawn to, perhaps also the sense of clarity of thought. However, I have tried decorating with blue. We've had a few blue walls in our home over the years, and both have actually been painted over and replaced with beige or a soft warm green or brown. So this goes to show that too much blue can make me feel a little like I'm in too much of a squeaky clean and almost sterile environment. And I guess that's where my secondary season, which was autumn, especially comes into play. I need a bit of warmth in my life to get that sense of hygge and coziness. Although I do love the soft, cool colors of the summer palette most. I also really love brown, all shades of brown, from beige to a deeper chocolate brown. Again, the cozy quality to these colors, a sense of being grounded and being approachable too, is probably what I love most about these colors, both for decorating and for wearing, because that's really how I see myself as well. Now, for my least favorite colors, it's not that I don't find these colors pretty or that I don't think they suit other people. I almost just experience a physical emotion towards these colors if I were to use them myself, which again, I think that gut feeling of disharmony is just so important to trust. So one of my least favorite colors seems to be something like lime green, probably because it's too intense and too bright compared to the soft green I feel connects most to my personality, and also the quality I'd want from the color green, almost too energetic, too loud, if you will. The same actually with mustard yellow. I do like this color, especially on other people, and also somewhat for decorating, but there's a sense of disharmony to me when I look at the color at the same time, so it just doesn't feel right. It feels a little too heavy, a little bit too rich for me. And then finally there's black. Now, I do like black in small amounts to create some contrast and bring in a little bit of that elegance, which in my opinion is one of the best qualities of black. We also like decorating with black in our home to a certain extent because, again, I like the contrast, I like the elegance, I like the minimalist touch of it, as long as it's not too much. So one of the adversive qualities to black is that it's very dominating. And again, if we think about the fact that I love brown so much for its approachable qualities, it kind of explains why I do feel a slight disconnect to black. And I've become increasingly aware of why that is. And I feel like I've learned more how to use this color in a balanced way where it doesn't feel too dominating and harsh. So there you have it, guys, a slightly different way to approach finding your best colors. I really hope you enjoyed this video and that it sparked your interest, if anything, in reading Karen's book, The Little Book of Color, which I will make sure, of course, to link in the description box down below of this video. It's a relatively easy but still super interesting read. I definitely learned a lot myself, and it was fun to kind of bridge further between color analysis in the sense of what colors look good on us, and then also get more reasoning and explanation behind why certain colors make us feel and behave certain ways. If you like this video, do make sure to give it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe for more slow fashion content as well. I would love to have you here. With that, thank you so much for watching. Take care, and I hope to see you very soon with another video. Bye, guys.